Alrighty, I am here with the authoress. Excuse the way I say that.
You're fine.
But it is so lovely to meet you. Can you say your name?
Hi, I'm authoress Chantel Sills.
Hello. This is the authoress of the Loving a Baller series.
Yes, ma'am.
And of many of the Off the Block articles as well.
Yep.
Let's start with your age. How old are you?
I just turned 28 on the 10th.
My gosh, lovely. So happy belated. First of all, are you a Capricorn?
Yes, ma'am. Best sign in the
Me
world.
too.
Yes.
No wonder.
Vibes.
No wonder. I'm the 16th, so.
Hey, turn up.
Oh, okay. So, let's dive right on in. I know that for you, womanhood equals power.
Yes, ma'am.
That spoke to me, spoke right to my heart. I believe in what you're doing. I think that what the article said about you was so important about it just being a male-dominated, entity. Excuse my wording. Hold on, let me breathe for a second. Being a male-dominated field and you finding your place in that and finding power in womanhood and using that to fuel you. Tell me about how you started.
So I've been writing since like the 3rd grade. Like in 3rd grade, I had an issue with grammar, and my mom recruited my uncle to help me with that. And his final project for me was, "Oh, Chantel, you're gonna write a book." And I'm like, "I'm gonna write a what?" He was like, "A book." I was like, "Okay." So I sat down with my parents and I wrote a book. It was called Dogs Go Camping. It had nothing to do with camping, so like the concept in the title did not mix. It was like these dogs who were named after like the celebrities I liked back then, like Lil Romeo, Lil Zane, Bow Wow. They were going to a party, and I don't remember what happened at that, but I don't know. Writing that book, I just loved it. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting. It doesn't match the title, but it was interesting." And like my parents read it, it was like, "Oh my God, this is so cute. I'm so proud of you." And I just loved like being able to write something that made people feel something, even in 3rd grade. So
You found your specialty. I saw that before that you did a lot of creative things, but you kind of found home with writing.
yes, ma'am.
And what stood out to me so much was that it was something that you struggled with that kind of sparked, you finding your passion. And I think that was so beautiful.
Thanks.
But I'm rolling at the title though. The dogs, what'd you say, Little Bow Wow?
It was Lil Bow Wow, Lil Zane, Romeo. I forgot who the girls were. I just remember those like the 3 like rappers I was in love with when I was little. So it was about that.
That's age appropriate. It's so cute. I think you should hold on to that. You never know what could come of that. So tell me about your family. I read that you have a creative family and it kind of...
Yes. So my dad can draw. He acts like he can't, but he can draw. He makes little medallions out of wood. So like not carving, but like he'll cut them out with the saw. So he has like little heads of like Nelson Mandela. He has a Obama little medallion. He has Martin Luther King, stuff like that. And he puts them on necklaces. He makes chessboards from scratch. He made like the little sorority paddles and the plaques. He made that from scratch. He's built, since I've been born, 3 tree houses from scratch. Like he has one in our backyard, one at my aunt's house, and one at this other guy's house.
You get a tree house. You get a tree
Right.
house.
He's a carpenter. Like he puts tiles down. He paints. He does a lot. My mom can draw a little bit, but she's not as creative. It's mainly my dad's side. Like his brother carves wood. I had an aunt on my dad's side who she does videography. She's a drawer. She paints. My cousin makes jewelry. I make jewelry a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like a lot of little cousins over here, aunts and uncles who do really cool stuff.
That is so cool. I love it.
And I have an uncle who's a musician. I forgot about that.
Wow. Oh my God. So it's all around. So you get it really honest.
Yeah.
Before this interview started, we were talking kind of offhand about some of your other interests. Can you tell Off the Block?
So I refer to myself as the authorpreneur because yes, I'm an author, but I also do other things. I am a crafter too. So I just got into cup making during the pandemic because I was like, I can't really do, like I could still write, but I was like, I can't really do my book signings like I wanted to do or go travel for a pop-up. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get me a cup turner and some epoxy and mix some resin
Yeah.
projects. So I've made a couple of wine glasses with acrylic paint and resin. I made my own domino set. My brother-in-law got a heat press, and I went and got a vinyl cutter. I got a Cricut, so I make shirts now a little bit.
So when you were saying cuttings, that's what you're referring to, the vinyls?
We cut on the vinyl and put it on stuff. Like I just made a Biden Harris shirt for the inauguration day. So yeah, I'm also a travel agent. Like that kind of slowed down too because. The way I'm set up, if I don't feel comfortable traveling, I don't feel comfortable sending my clients traveling. I also model now. Like I got into that too because I was like, can't really do this, so I was like, let's find other stuff I can do. So
that's what I want to. I want to hear how you got into the modeling. I want to say I love the way that we as creatives can pivot. You know. No matter what, because the COVID has hit us all, and it's definitely changed the way that we are doing things. But to see you be able to make that switch because you're multi-talented is awesome. But I think the coolest story was your modeling. Tell me about how that came to be.
So I have a cousin who she sells some lingerie and sex toys. Like she makes her own toys. Her company's called Ebony Cupcake. I'm officially a brand ambassador for her as of 2021.
Okay.
She had a fashion show to debut her line because she's been working on this line for a minute. So she put it out. It's called November Crush. It's amazing. It's all type of velvet lingerie pieces. So I went to her fashion show and I noticed majority of her models were all plus size. And I was like, and some of them were bigger than me. I was like, well, and they were fierce. I was like, if they can do that and love the skin they're in, I was like, why can't I do that? Because I've struggled with self-esteem issues because I'm like the biggest one out of my family. My parents are small. My sister's small. I'm like thick. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, how can I? I was like, I'm working on my self-love. Like, how can I show the world that I'm working on it too? Like, this is me. Accept me. So I was like modeling. So I reached out to a couple of models and I asked questions like, hey, what was your story? How did you get into it? Because, you know, as a writer, I love a good story. So they told me their stories. And one of them, her name's Tanisha Vaughn. She actually introduced me to this lady named Naomi. And she goes by Faith Grace on Facebook. And she was having a show and a photo shoot coming up. And I reached out to her and I've done a couple of projects for her. And through her, I met this person, that person. So I've done like a couple of photo shoots. I have another one tonight. Queen's Layer with, I think her name is Sarita. She's a plus size model, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. We're modeling with fabric, like that's cool.
It's gonna be fun. You know what I just heard you say? All the ways that through and through womanhood equals empowerment for you.
Yes, ma'am.
That is so beautiful. Well, I cannot wait to see these pictures.
Me too.
Your photo shoot today. And it was how much? I'm sorry, I'm cutting in the middle. It was so lovely to get to meet you.
You too. We're gonna work.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
it was instant. We clicked. I'm so like we were brought to this room for a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you.
All right.